Good afternoon on what is a cold, bright, and sunny day. It is Thursday, the 30th November, and I'm in the reading up with a nice hot cup of tea. And a parcel to continue unboxing. It's open. It's easy. And what I have here is a copy of Private Inquiries: The Secret History of Female Sleuths by Caitlin Davis. Now, I picked this up on a whim in the Black Friday sale because I thought to myself, I enjoy reading the stories and investigations of Sam Spade and Philip Marlowe, and so on, and other male detectives. But you would never actually think of the real world detective, as being women. And I think it's. And I thought, well, this looks interesting. This is, at least the private detective. So I thought this would be interesting, and perhaps, open up another side or aspect of the detective world that we don't often think about. So, the female private detective has been a staple of popular culture for 150 years, from Victorian lady sleuths to busybody spinsters and gun-toting modern PIs. But what about the real-life women behind these fictional tales? Dismissed as Mrs. Sherlock Holmes or amateurish Miss Marples, mocked as private dicks or honey trappers. They've been investigating crime since the mid-19th century. Everything from theft and fraud to romance schemes and murder. In Private Inquiries, Caitlin Davis traces the history of the UK's female investigators, uncovering the truth about their lives and careers from the 1850s to the present day. Women like Victorian Private Inquiry agent Antonia Moser, the first woman to open her own agency. Annette Kenner, who ran the Mayfair Detective Agency on Baker Street in the 1940s, and Liverpool sleuth Zina Scott Archer, who became the first woman president of the World Association of Detectives. Caitlin also follows in the footsteps of her subjects, undertaking a professional qualification to become a private investigator and meeting modern PIs to find out the reality behind the fictional image. Female investigators are on the rise in the UK, and despite the industry's sleazy reputation, nearly a third of new trainees are women. After a century of undercover work, it's time to reveal the secrets of their trailblazing forebears. So that sounds like an interesting read, I thought to myself. So let's have a leaf through. Author's bibliography, contents page, and prologue, and case number 480, and just setting everything up and detailing what a consulting detective is, because we have some idea, of course, because the most famous consulting detective is Sherlock Holmes. But this is going to talk about the reality of that situation rather than the superpowered logical mind of Sherlock Holmes. So it's talking about how to become a private investigator. And here we begin to look at some of the cases and experiences of being a detective in the period. The book covers talking about it as a profession for charlatans, because detectives go around poking their noses into other people's business, and not only do they not have permission, they don't have official sanction, as it were. They're not the police. They're not, they're not the equivalent of an inspector calls. So, yeah. So things like, then we actually move on to the adventures of a woman detective, and Double Face for a Woman. And these are quite short chapters, so it's not, so it's easy to dig into. Looking at particular cases, such as the case of the disappearing whiskey. And there are some pictures and there's images in this section here. We'll move on to a woman private dick. So we have features of sort of like, you know, classic detectives. We've got Sherlock Holmes, of course, there, a couple of particular age detectives, and looks at the Pinkertons, and then moving on to women, and looking at sort of like some of the famous women covered in the book, where they had their offices. You know, because I mean, obviously, you know, you can't trust. Private dicks, of course, are untrustworthy, and famously, no job for a woman. And you know, this book, you know, explores the lives and cases of women who did take up the profession. You know, proving exactly the you know, the fact that it, you know, it was a profession for them, that they could do it. And yeah. So, I think this will be a fascinating read. I think it'll also be, you know, I think this will be nicely to play into, if you're a gamer, you know, this will be play into things like Call of Cthulhu, because, you know, both Cthulhu by Gaslight, the Jazz Age, and beyond, because, you know, this is talking about the reality of, you know, detectives, detection by female investigators, and the reality can sort of like, you know, nicely contrast with the unreality of the mythos. And of course, we even have a section called Sherlock Holmes. So yeah, I think this is going to be a terrific read, and it comes up to date with 21st century detectives. So that's quite a lengthy section, and then we have the section of sources at the back, and yeah. So that is Private Inquiries: The Secret History of Female Sleuths by Caitlin Davis. Looking forward to that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you see me out here with a package containing a book or game, or in this case, a book about female detectives, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back in soon with another one. Bye for now.